Right, I got to see The Wrestler last night, and yeah, I feel really glad that it was like pretty much in my local town cinema. That was amazing. I really didn't expect that. I knew it was coming out in the UK this weekend, and yeah, I just didn't think it would be in my local cinema at all, because it wasn't even listed till like the day before it was being shown, and it was. I was really glad it was on, pretty much. I went with my girlfriend and my mate. They're not like exactly wrestling fans, but they, they hear a lot of it from me, pretty much. So I took them along to it, and yeah, very great film. I'm probably gonna like spoiler alerts. I'm probably gonna have to spoil it a lot because I want to talk about it properly. I think Mickey Rourke just played the role very well. He was just so believable, and the way it was filmed was kind of like an autobiographical style, documentary style. It was just great, first it starts off with like pictures of him in his heyday in the 80s, and then like it views him like in a dressing room 20 years later, and there's like one of the first things you hear is like, "Oh, you put him really over tonight, Ram," because he's called Randy the Ram Robinson in the film. And yeah, it goes like quite well like with the behind the scenes kind of inside the business aspect, with like using words such as putting over, and like of course like there's a scene like where you see him blading and stuff like that in the match with that CCW guy. It was great to see like the CZW wrestlers and like the arena and the ROH stuff as well. It's good exposure for them in my opinion. But the thing is, I think like if a lot of like kids that just know about WWE go and see this film, they might think that like those federations are fictional. But I'd like to think they wouldn't. But you just never know. And yeah, it just shows him like he's living his life basically. He's just living his life as a wrestler, and like after a match with Necro Butcher, he like a very hardcore match which contains stapling and like hits with a prosthetic leg or whatever. He has a heart attack, and like this is like a bit. The film is pretty heavy going in some parts. It shows his relationship with his daughter, which isn't great, to be honest, and like how he just wants to be a better person, and he has this kind of like love interest that's also a stripper, but like it's clever how they've done it, because it's not like a proper love interest, it's like someone he talks to, because there's a good parallel between the like stripping business, lap dancers or whatever, and the wrestling. But yeah, it's like he wants to make his life better, and I thought like the scene where he like, played a video game with like one of his little kid friends, and like this kid's going, "Oh, these graphics are bad, I'd rather play Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah." That was interesting. There's just so much interesting dynamics in this film, and it's like hard to think like who the director could have based this on, or what it could have been based on. As far as other films go, it's kind of like an amalgamation of the first Rocky movie and the last one, Rocky Balboa. Just the way it goes, it's like quite heroic, but it's like sad as well, a bit melancholy. It's just so much great. It's just a great story, a great film, pretty much. And like, I could see like non-wrestling fans can appreciate it as much as like full-on wrestling fans can appreciate it too. And you have a cameo from R-Truth, Wrong Killings, or whoever it is, and like you just see him trying to get his life together. It's interesting, the scenes where he's like working in a deli. Like, basically they have like the music playing as he's walking through, and like all the chanting, and then he walks through the curtain. He's just at a deli, and then he's like just doing all this stuff there to make it enjoyable for him. And it's like anyone that has like just a bland job like realizes what's that's like and how he feels it, and the way he like quits the deli when he realizes that's not for him. He needs to go back to wrestling, like regardless of that he's just had a heart attack or what. It's just genius. It's so funny. Like, it's just, oh, it's probably unintentionally funny, but he like punches like this meat grinder thing, and then blood everywhere, and he's like, yeah, you want a piece of cheese, lady? And it's, it's just so good. And yeah, there was like moments in the film where people were laughing. It's interesting seeing like Necro Butcher like just talking with him about their match, and like the actual wrestling in it looked really well done, I thought. I mean, you can tell like Mickey Rourke took some bumps or whatever, and yeah, and the ending of it left a lot of unanswered questions, like, does he get with that woman from the stripper club? Does he die? You know, he was holding his heart in that match, like the rematch against Ayatollah. Like he was, like something was wrong. Does he win and everything's good? You just don't know. You're left guessing a lot of things, and I think that's a very clever way to end the film. They did well doing that there. But yeah, overall, just fucking brilliant movie, basically. I kind of knew what to expect, but like left an open mind to it as well, whereas like I wasn't quite sure how they were gonna do it, and like the way the guy directed it was so good. It like just had a great kind of just well storyboarded, I think. Just had a great flow to it. You could tell it's an indie film for sure, and it's just so good, and I can't wait to see it again, personally. And I recommend any fan of like great heart-melting stories, wrestling obviously, or any fan of film at all, or wrestling, just to go and see it, because it's awesome and it's so worth it. It's just a brilliant film, and the action of the wrestling's good. It tells a good story. I wonder if it got based off of any wrestlers. I mean, there's elements, you can see elements of like Jake Roberts and Terry Funk, and lots of other people. And it's funny, like when he was at the Fan Fest, and like he was like looking at all the other wrestlers, and they're all like either paralysed or like just unhealthy and old, and it just felt so true to life, and it was just very well captured. And I've ranted on long enough about this. Just go and see it if you can, and if you're lucky enough to have it on nearby you. If not, just wait for the DVD or try and watch it any other way. I can't recommend it enough. It's brilliant. Alright, let me know what you think of it if you've seen it already, because I'd like to know. I'd like to know everyone's opinions. It's good shit.